Hello and welcome to Pop Culture Shark, the pop culture stream about all things pop culture. I'm Final Monkey.
And I'm pop culture. I mean, Caleb.
Yeah, a little stumble there, but it's all right. I laid down right before the podcast just long enough to got just enough sleep just to be a little grumpy. So we will see how today goes, and also the
I,
weather
will-
changed, so I'm all kind of stopped up. So
I will be the Donatello / Michelangelo, and you are going to be the Raphael of the stream.
there we go. So today we got a really fun show. One I'm really super excited about. I've been thinking about it all week. We are going to pretend like there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Brothers game coming out, and we are selecting the roster for it. Um, we're doing melee rules where there's 25
Mm-hmm.
uh, character slots. We went ahead and picked the first 10, so we wouldn't be here all day.
There are
Um,
10 obvious ones.
yeah, so we will get to that. But before we do all that, Caleb, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been watching more X Files. I'm starting to like it a lot more. Um, so that's been a lot of fun. I still have not gotten around to Castlevania Nocturne yet, even though I've been so excited about it. Just I don't know, like I can just sit down and watch X Files because like I'm not pre I'm not pre-invested, if that makes any sense. Like X Files is having to win me over. Castlevania Nocturne, I want to find like it's something special for me because I love Castlevania so much that I don't want to just sit down and watch it and then be interrupted with it. So haven't gotten around to that yet, but definitely will be getting around to it before the end of the month because it is spooky season. So uh, always nice to uh, embrace that.
So
Um,
let me ask you, did you finish Ahsoka?
I did.
So we won't get in depth, but thumbs up or thumbs down on the series as a whole.
Thumbs up, absolutely. I think it's um, I think it is the most Star Warsy thing that has been released since the original Force Unleashed.
Okay.
Uh, and by that I mean, Andor and Andor and Mandalorian are really good, um, but they don't have to be Star Wars. Um, Mandalorian, that's a space cowboy, can kind of do that in any sense. Andor is a space spy thriller, kind of like how Captain America doesn't have to be Winter Soldier doesn't have to be a Captain America movie. Um, it's just a really good 70s spy film. But Ahsoka has to be Star Wars. And that's what I mean. Like, it's the most Star Warsy thing they've released since 2008.
So let me ask you this. If someone has never seen an episode of Clone Wars or Rebels, can they watch Ahsoka?
I believe so. Just go into it like you're going into A New Hope. They're gonna say stuff that happened previously that you're not gonna know about,
Okay.
but view it as a world building, because everything that is important, they will explain it to you eventually.
Okay.
How
Um, so for the most part, the online community I watch has not liked Ahsoka, and then the people I talk to who are not part of that community are like, "Oh yeah, it was pretty good." So I I don't know. I have
Here's the thing. Star Wars fans hate Star Wars. That's really what it comes down to.
yeah,
No
yeah,
one
I don't
hates
know.
Star Wars more than Star Wars
That's
fans. That's the
true.
joke.
Yeah. So I'm still staying away from it. If
Oh
something
no,
great comes out of this,
so
great. But
here's the thing. I've recommended it to people, but I'm just like, just know that you're getting into something that isn't finished yet. But now that the season is finished, I can confidently say this season of television is good. Just know it's not finished yet. So I understand your reservations because, for someone like you probably want to wait until they've defeated till they defeated Thrawn again, which is a few
Yeah,
years
I
away.
I, I want to wait until there's a completed story and people can look back and go, okay, yeah, that was a nice completed story, especially with the leadership of Lucasfilm up in the air right now. There's been all kinds of rumors that there's going to be changes.
Oh,
Uh,
and you know what's the nice thing? I just watching the show, and I know you're big into the behind the scenes stuff.
mhm.
I like the behind the scenes stuff, but only stuff that's like officially released, like their little documentary things. Like those are fun to watch. But you're into like the leakers and whatnot.
Well, I'm more into the politics of what's going on behind the
Right,
scenes.
exactly. So watching the show, I didn't see that any of the politics really interfered at all.
Yeah.
And like with Mando season 3, you can kind of sense the politics getting involved.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Because
and whenever we say politics, we're not talking about your American government. We're talking about like um, uh,
the the
management.
yeah, the management, the infighting behind the scenes,
Yeah,
behind different
um,
creative visions, and what we actually get on screen.
mm.
Because
But yeah,
Mando season 3 was not what was supposed to be Mando season 3. A
right,
lot of
right.
stuff got changed.
But I can confidently say that within this show, I didn't get any sense of any sort of outside interference. This is exactly what Dave Filoni wanted to make.
Cool.
So it's a positive for me. Keep in mind that it's really hard to disappoint me with Star Wars. That's not to say it hasn't happened, but it is more difficult than most people. So
Cool.
what about yourself? We're here's the thing. Usually, whenever we do like a review stream, you spend your week, kind of taking in the whole review thing. So, last week was AVX and Wolverine and the X-Men, but now we're doing a more improv show, so we didn't really have to. This is going to sound horrible. We didn't have to prepare a whole lot. So what did you spend your week doing?
I actually prepared quite a bit for this show because I had to find images of all the characters and
Sure.
so yeah, I actually did probably more prep work for this than most shows. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
usually I do the prep work for the actual show, but
yeah,
this,
yeah.
but this time, like I can do slides and all that. I really don't. You can make character select screens.
This has been one of those weeks where I've been so busy that I've been exhausted and falling asleep like as soon as I get home. So
Oh man, what an old man.
yeah, so I did download the new, or not new, but the DLC for Vampire Survivor. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. It's okay. It's not as good as the core game was, but it's still fun. Um, Other than that, I'll play F-Zero 99 every now and then, but I'm still terrible at F-Zero 99. So
Still haven't
um,
gotten around to it. I've just been playing F-Zero on the. What I've been doing is I've been doing like time trials, kind of like Initial D, on the tracks, just to see what I can get my highest time to. That's really all I do anymore. Is I'll play Destiny and then I'll speed run other things.
yeah, I I have been we have been babysitting a little toddler, and so I was I'm trying to find stuff on YouTube to entertain him, and I found the old Ronald McDonald cartoons that the Rugrats people made back in the 90s. And for the most part, those are okay, but Ronald has this dog that's just disturbing.
I think I remember that. Did it come in like a VHS?
Yeah,
In the Happy Meals.
something like that, or you can send away for it or something. But there's this dog I think named Sunday,
I
and
remember that.
he's he's okay in the cartoon, but there's live action sections with him in it, and they are disturbing.
Wait, is there an episode where like they're all turned into little kids?
I don't know. There's 2 episodes, and I only saw the haunted house episode. There's another episode where they go to Grimace Island or something.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, it was it was messed up. So anyhow, You're not here to hear about Grimace Island. You're here for Ninja Turtle talk. So we're gonna get right into it.
Maybe one day, Grimace Island. Maybe one day.
Maybe maybe one day Grimace Island.
We will talk. You know what? Next June for Grimace's birthday.
Yeah, put that on the calendar. We will.
Oh, by the way, before we start, let's play our favorite game, McRib or Terry Bradshaw. Not Terry Bradshaw. Oh man, I don't know my sports. Tom Brady. McRib or Tom Brady retires and immediately comes back the next year.
You're asking which will happen the first, or
No. Which one am I describing? I'm describing. The joke is I'm describing both. It's a bad joke.
Okay, all right. Because I fear both will happen. That's what I was saying. I didn't know.
Oh no. So Tom Brady, you know, a couple years ago announced his retirement, and then like 3 months later he came back. Well, last year was supposed to be the farewell tour for the McRib, and then this week they announced that it's coming back on November 15th.
Yeah, McRib has to do with what the meat prices are. When the meat prices go down, they bring it back. So, yeah. So
yeah, it was a very long way to get to a really bad joke.
You've done it again, old chap.
Ninja Turtles. Yeah,
Ninja Turtles. Let's. I'm gonna pull up the our roster we have here. So I made the screen like the old Smash Brothers Melee. Man, I played so much of Smash Brothers Melee. I'd go on my lunch break to Best Buy and just sit there and play it over and over. So there are 25 character slots in Smash Brothers Melee. So we went ahead and filled in the first 10 that we're going to get in the game no matter what. So we got our 4 turtles, of course.
Hold on. Let me try this. I'm sure. Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, Master Splinter.
I don't like how you said Master Splinter. It was a little seductive.
I don't know why, but I went from like Wii Fit Trainer. You know, that's kind of what I was going for. April O'Neil, Casey Jones, The Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop, Melee,
Smash Melee.
But yeah, those are our first 10.
So we have 15 more spaces. So we went through and we both selected some characters that we like. Some are obvious choices, and then some are more obscure. Melee infamously had Game & Watch, a very obscure character, so I'm sure we'll pick one very obscure character.
Well, not just that, but Marth and Roy had never like Fire Emblem had never been in any sort of like American game ever. Like Marth and Roy was our introduction to the Fire Emblem series, which is now one of the biggest series that Nintendo has.
Yeah, and I let's see if I can zoom in a little here. Is that a little better? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we picked 32 characters to pick from. And I want, for the most part, to try to find characters that best represent the TMNT franchise. Yeah.
Shout out to Taylor Swift. We're going for eras here.
Yeah. So let me pull up the characters that we went for. So going left to right from the top, we have Karai, who neither of us had on our list. And after I started compiling this, I was like, oh, you know what? We need Karai.
I definitely forgot about Karai.
Yeah, she's kind of important. So kind of one of those shoe-in characters we just totally forgot about. Next, we have Baxter Stockman. He is one of my favorite Teenage Mutant Turtle villains. Just an awesome evil character. Next, you had Mousers.
Yeah, just a mouser, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I,
some of these characters we might say, are either going to be maybe more relegated to be like assist trophies or something like that.
mm.
Um, so I
I
could
just
see
I just
Mouser being that.
imagine I just imagine a mouser playing exactly like Yoshi. You know what I'm saying?
And then he lays a little Mouser egg that turns into another
Yeah.
Mouser. Yeah, I can see that. Uh, now I can't get that on my head. Okay, because the Mousers in the original comic book, they were originally designed to be like landmine removal.
Yep.
So that kind of makes sense. Next, we have Baxter Stockman as a fly. So Baxter's actually on this list twice. Then we have
That one,
Go ahead.
I always thought that like Fly Stockman, that's like a final smash or something.
Yeah, so we might combine some of these into one character. We will see. Then we have Hun, who was added in the 2003 cartoon series. He's also been in the 2012 series and the IDW comic books, so he's kind of become a mainstay. Uh, then we have the Foot Soldiers.
Just a generic foot soldier, you know. This is like putting a Goomba in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's like putting a Koopa Troopa as a playable character. Then Krang. And then Agent Bishop, another character neither of us listed. That was like, oh yeah, we need Agent Bishop.
You know what's funny? I watched 2003 religiously, and I can see that is in the two. I have no idea who that is.
You don't know who Agent Bishop is?
It escapes me right now.
He comes around like I want to say season 3 or season 4, and becomes like the main villain of the show at that point when Shredder leaves. He's like he's part of like the Earth Protection Agency where they defend against aliens. So he's always trying to capture the turtles, like dissect them and stuff.
I vaguely remember.
He's and he's been in the IDW comics and he's in a little bit in the 2012 series. I think all the Utroms kind of look like him in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time threat to the turtles. So on the next row, we do have 2 Triceratons here. We each selected a different Triceraton. I went with Zog. Zog is the Triceraton that gets brain damage once he gets on Earth's atmosphere. His breathing apparatus gets messed up, and he's hallucinating and thinks that the turtles are his allies. And so the turtles use him to fight the Shredder, and he dies fighting the Shredder. Kind of a tragic character, but probably one of the more popular Triceratons. Then we have Fugitoid, who is one of the earliest TMNT characters. I think he predates the Ninja Turtles themselves. I think he has his own comic book before they even came out. He's been on, I don't know if he was in the 87 series, but he's been in most of the versions of Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yep.
Next, when you submitted this name, I had to look it up because I could not remember this guy's name. Zan Ramon, is that his name?
Yeah.
He is kind of like, is he the leader of the Triceratons?
Yeah, he's basically the king of the Triceratons.
Yeah. So yeah, we might have to debate about which Triceraton is the best here a little bit. Next, we have Savante Romero. He is a bad guy time traveler. He's always stealing the time scepter from Renee, who's next to him. Renee is the mistress of time, and she is usually responsible for the turtles and time misadventures that happen. She's kind of learning how to be a time mistress and always screws everything up. So she is definitely a major reoccurring character from the old comic books that shows up all the time. Do you have any clue who these 2 are?
No. See, to me, Turtles in Time was a good video game and a bad movie.
Yeah, and oddly enough, neither of them featured Renee, and I think
I know.
she would have made the movie better, more interesting. Same
Question
with,
mark.
uh, well, I mean, if you had a demon running around like Savante Romero as a bad guy and stuff, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe.
I see why they didn't include him in the '90s. We're just coming off the Satanic Panic. I can't see a big if they threw a fit over the turtles having weapons and using language in the first film. I could see them really freaking out over a demon being in the third movie. um, but yeah, these are two classic TMNT characters. Um, that the '87 series kind of skipped over, but they are definitely in the 2003 and 2012 series. So, next is Armagon, the shark.
Hmm.
He's a very fun character. He was in TMNT Tournament Fighters, I believe, if I'm recalling right.
You are recalling that right, and that makes me think of another character that we didn't put. Um, did you put Chrome Dome?
Oh, I just thought of another character I forgot also. Uh, Warrior Dragon. I had him on my list and I just forgot to put him on here.
No, no. You know what this is? If we forgot about them in any sort of way, then they're automatically disqualified. So we forgot about.
Yeah, I know. He was on my list yesterday when I was making it. I just skipped over him somehow. All right. I was having trouble getting the images the right size, so yeah, it happens. But Armagon, he is a time traveling shark from the future. Uh, he's usually portrayed as having robotic shark armor over the top of his other of his body. He's a really fun character. Um, so yeah. Next, we have the Ultimate Ninja. To my knowledge, he's only appeared in the 2003 cartoon.
I believe so. Yes.
Unless he's in some obscure IDW comic book I don't know about.
They should bring him back. Ue-sama is such a cool character.
Yeah, and if I recall, he combines with is it Draco the dragon? He ends up combined with and
Yeah.
become like this monstrous form, which would be a really cool final smash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a fighting tournament between dimensions that the turtles participated in, and he was he the Danyo's son, I believe, and he was evil. It's been a while, but yeah, he's a really fun character, a really fun villain.
As a kid, I had this thing called the Juice Box, which I believe I've talked about on the show before. But essentially, it was kind of like the answer to the Video Now. But instead of using discs, it used little cartridges, kind of like the Game Boy Advance. And I think I had like Ed, Edd and Eddy. I had Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I also had the Ultimate Ninja episode, like his first episode where he fights Leonardo on the Brooklyn Bridge. So that's probably the reason why Ue-sama has always stuck out to me more than any other characters, because that's the episode that I watched the most as a kid.
So I'm gonna derail us here for just a second. I just thought of what these videos should be called. They should be called Choose Your Fighter.
Oh, I like that.
So we might want to go back and rename the Disney Smash Brothers one and this one the Choose Your Fighter Disney Edition and TMNT Edition. Okay, just so I don't forget that. Yeah.
Oh no, I like it. I like it. I like it.
All right.
Behind the scenes editing.
Yeah. Next on the list we have the Rat King. I think he's been in like every single iteration of the Turtles, except for the movies, but he's just a major mainstay. I almost feel like he's a lock, but we'll discuss here in a minute. All right, let me scroll down a little. If I can figure out how this works. Okay. Next up, another character he has to be a lock, but we'll see. Leatherhead, another classic turtle villain that I think has been in every iteration of Turtles. I can't think of one again except for the movies that he hasn't been in. I guess he's in the new one, or is it a she in the new one? I don't know. I still haven't
seen it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's on Paramount Plus. We could watch it.
Yeah, I was trying to get my brother on here tonight, and he backed out. I think he has seen it. So anyhow, um, Leatherhead, major character. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. He's been in many of the video games. So uh, next we have Slash, which I couldn't find a really great picture of Slash. I just got the action figure picture because he looks so cool. But Slash, the evil mutant turtle from Dimension X, I love Slash. He's one of my favorite characters. Um, and a lot of that's from reading the Archie comics growing up because he becomes kind of a hero towards the end and friend of the Mutanimals. And spoilers, he ends up sacrificing himself. Just a great character. Um, but yeah, Slash, he would be great in the movies. What? Okay, anyhow. Um,
He was though, wasn't he? In the Secret of the Ooze, he was a.
that is Toka, and Toka is a baby. We don't talk about babies. They're babies. Um, yeah, we didn't put Toka and Razor in here. I'm not the biggest Toka Razor fan there is. So um, I always think we could have Bebop and Rocksteady, you know. All right. Next is Ninjara. She is from the TMNT RG Adventures comic books. I believe. Well, I'll come back to that. She's like I think she's a fox. Um, she is Raphael's girlfriend in those comic books. And then you never saw her again after this. I think somebody has the rights to her, and so they don't get to use her. So there's another character named Alopex that they use in IDW that's a white fox that basically serves the same function. So this slot could really be Ninjara or Alopex. Um, either
This
one.
is this is the furry bait for the game.
Yeah. I really like this character, but I'm like, yeah. Um, um, next, we have Ray Fillet or Rayman or Man Ray. He's had several different names. I just find Ray. He is originally from the TMNT Adventures Archie comic book. And then, let's see, because he's not really in the old cartoon. He hasn't really showed up again until the IDW comic books. But he was in one of the early video games, the Tournament Fighters.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is one of my all-time favorite characters, so I had to include him. I don't know if he'll make the final roster, but I just love his character. Then we have Mondo Gecko. Mondo Gecko has been in several cartoons, several comic books. He's a skateboarding lizard. What else do you need to know about him? Then we have Wingnut and Screwloose. I could not find a great picture of them, so I got the one from IDW where they're kind of weird mutants. This is kind of TMNT's spoof of Batman and Robin. I've always liked these characters. They were, again, from TMNT Adventures, but they've appeared in a lot of different cartoon shows.
They have figures coming out, right?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of the new figures that I think Super 7 is making, and they're looking like more like the old classic Batman Robin designs. They're kind of fun. Then we have this cat with one eye. This is Old Hob. He is a newer character from the IDW comic books.
Originally from TMNT Secret of the Ooze.
No, this is not. This is not. I was like, what are you talking about?
He appeared with Slash.
He is in the comic books. He was an alley cat that encountered the turtles when they were covered with the ooze and tried to eat them. And Splinter, as a little rat, clawed out his eye. So he hates Splinter. He's kind of a militant mutant that wants to create an army of mutants or the mutanimals to strike back at the humans any way possible. He really hates humans.
The plot of the animated movie? Just from like the trailers, that sounds like the plot of the animated movie.
Oh, the new one that just came out?
Yeah.
Maybe. He's kind of like I wouldn't say he's your Magneto character, but he's I was trying to think if Cable was a villain, maybe that's who it would
No,
be.
so I know what he is. He is did you ever watch Static Shock?
Yeah, but I don't remember any of the characters.
So he's Eben. He was the guy who's like all purple and black with the Letterman jacket.
Okay.
That, I mean, like that's his thing. Like he's kind of a Magneto like, but he's a little bit more street,
Yeah.
less formal, I guess.
Maybe he's more like the Callisto of this. Maybe, I'm right. That's the I don't know. Anyhow, next we have on the
From the
list,
Spawn.
we have Metalhead. Metalhead is another one of those characters that's been in every iteration of Turtles. Not much of a personality, but I figured we had to include him because he's also appeared in some of the video games.
He's kind of the Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah. Not one of my favorite characters, but one you just got to include. All right. The bottom row is more of the obscure third party type characters. So going from left to right, the first one we have is The Last Ronin. Last Ronin is from a recent comic book they did about the last turtle in the future that's outlived the other turtles going on one final mission. So I'm kind of glad you added him because I totally forgot I would not have included him, but once you said, I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Next we have Usagi Yojimbo,
Yes.
probably the most popular third party Ninja Turtle character. He I believe has been in I wouldn't say every cartoon, but almost every cartoon he has
To
popped
give
up.
you perspective, this is my favorite Ninja Turtles character, and he's not even a Ninja Turtles character.
I think that's true for most people. People love Usagi Yojimbo. This is a Stan Sakai character, and they've had many comic book crossovers. I think they're having one right now, actually. Next on the list, an interesting choice, Hamato Yoshi, which is Splinter's human form, depending on which iteration of Turtles you're reading. Sometimes he is Splinter's master, and sometimes he is Splinter. So just
Yeah,
depends.
I kind of got like I got the idea for Hamato Yoshi because like I'm thinking like in Street Fighter terms, like you got Ryu and Ken, and then there was always like you must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance, and then over several years later we finally got to play as Goken in Street Fighter 4. So that was my thought process for Hamato Yoshi.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of some of the Dragon Ball Z games. Some of the secret characters in there, like
Yeah,
was it
Launch.
Goku's grandpa or whatever? You could
Gohan.
Gohan,
Grandpa Gohan.
yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Next we have Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. The Turtles and Power Rangers have had lots of team ups, so our rule was as long as they've had a crossover with the Turtles, they were eligible.
And with and anytime I get the chance to like honor Jason David Frank, I'm gonna at least put him in for the for the running.
Yeah, he was a good dude. The recent comic book had him, the Green Ranger, join the Foot Clan to try and help somebody that had joined the Foot Clan, try to get them out of there. And along the way, he got captured, and the Shredder stole his Green Ranger powers and became like a Green Ranger Shredder.
That's
pretty cool. Yeah, I thought about including that as a character, but I was like, nah, we already got Green Ranger. So
well, and like costumes are a thing too.
Yeah.
So like you can have like your Shredder, but he won't have like the powers of the Green Ranger, but it'd be cool to play as him.
Like, yeah. Then we have Ho-Chan. Ho-Chan appeared in one episode of the 2012 cartoon. And if you don't know, this is Lopan.
He also appeared in a very popular movie from the 80s.
It is very obviously supposed to be Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. It's even voiced by the guy who played Lopan. So if you get a chance to include Lopan, you're going to include Lopan in your fighting game.
Also,
Um,
Snake Plissken is being added as well.
well, Snake is Escape from New York.
I know.
Jack Burton is Escape from or see, now you got me all confused. Big Trouble in Little China is Jack Burton. So
I honestly, I was just going for any Kurt Russell character.
yeah. And then
Ego, the Living Planet.
Big Trouble in Little China also starred Raiden. So there you go.
Yeah,
Um,
all three of them.
how did Mortal Kombat not get sued for Raiden? I will never know. But
You know what's funny is I always thought that it because Lo Pan definitely some Shang Tsung going
oh
on.
yeah.
And even I'm forgetting again Kurt Russell's character. What's his name?
Jack Burton.
That's Johnny Cage right there.
Well, I mean, we're gonna get way off track here, but Mortal
It's fine.
Kombat was originally supposed to be a one-player game, and it was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's where the Johnny Cage stuff came from. So,
And now we're getting Jean-Claude Van Damme in Mortal Kombat, and it's amazing.
did you know that Ed Boon, his original idea for this game was for every character to be played by a major actor?
That's insane because it's usually the major actors that are the worst.
Yeah,
Like
it would have been terrible.
like
Um,
Sonya, what was it? Who played
Ronda
Sonya?
Rousey,
Horrible.
yeah,
Megan Fox, Nitara, horrible.
terrible.
You know what else is funny? In Mortal Kombat 11, we'll get back to this game eventually. Mortal Kombat 11 had
Shang Tsung.
well, no, it had, well, yes, but he was great. He's phenomenal. But Stallone as Rambo, and he was horrible, and that's his character.
Rambo was actually a pretty cool character in that.
No,
But
he's
anyhow,
a cool character, but I'm talking about like the actual acting.
yeah. Anywho, back to this. Next, I put a Flaming Carrot. This is a obscure independent comic book character. I believe, was from the same creator. I might be wrong on this. That made the Mystery Men.
You are correct.
Um,
That is the one that is the one piece of knowledge I know about Flaming Carrot. Actually, I remember that Mystery Men started off as a pitch for like the movie was going to be a Flaming Carrot movie.
yeah,
But then he just didn't fit in the vibe of the movie.
and they've tried a couple of times to get him on the cartoon show, and for whatever reason, it fell through. But
Can I ask a question? Because I probably know why. Do you think is Flaming Carrot still like a thing? Are they still making new Flaming Carrot stuff?
I have no. I'm gonna say no, but I don't. I really don't know.
Because the name.
Uh,
Not only is it flaming, but it's also carrot. There's a lot of
yeah. I don't know.
flaming carrot. Like, I honestly, it's a comedy book. I would not be surprised if that was even the intention, but it's not something that you can do today.
It's fully up on Wikipedia. His last appearance was 2006, so he hasn't been around a while.
That makes sense. 2006 was probably around the time that that's probably around the time that we lost a lot of words that we used to say.
He became the Flaming Carrot after reading 5,000 comics in a single sitting to win a bet, and he suffered brain damage.
That's really funny.
Oh, I hear you. I could see me reading 5,000 comics for this show and just be like,
they were all Todd McFarlane.
well, I mean, we know how it was. We were trying to read through Fantastic Four. Both our brains were like, okay. Next, we have Nobody. Nobody is a TMNT character that has appeared in the original comics, the 2003 series. I don't think he was in 2012, but he's
doesn't ring a bell.
Currently in IDW. It's basically their Batman, is what it is. If Silver Century is their Superman, this is their Batman. And I'm sure you're like, wait, Silver Sentry, who's that? He appeared a lot on the 2003 cartoon. And Mikey was always trying to be a superhero of him being the Turtle Titan.
Him I do remember.
Yeah. I think in most versions of this, nobody is a cop. That's also a superhero at night or whatever. So yeah. Lastly, we have Cerebus, classic comic book character. And I think was the first character to ever cross over with the Turtles. Cerebus is basically an aardvark that's a spoof of Conan the Barbarian. So there we go. That is our the pool we are selecting from.
There's one that's missing though, man.
Who's
And
missing?
I specifically requested this character. There was a kid with
No.
red glasses.
No.
he had the turtles as pets, and
No.
whenever he went blind by getting hit with all the toxins, he dropped the turtles, and they mutated too.
So for those who don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book was originally a spoof of Daredevil, and Daredevil's the original story for Daredevil was he was a kid that pushed a man out of a way of a truck that was out of control, and the truck had toxic waste on it and splashed him in the face. He went blind. So they changed it so that he was carrying a bowl of 4 turtles when that happened, and that the toxic waste mutated the turtles. And there's other connections like
the foot and the hand.
Yeah, and Matt was trained by the Stick. The turtles were trained by Splinter. Just a lot of different things.
Karai and Elektra.
Yeah, I think the Tick did a better spoof of Elektra. I should make you read those one day.
I mean, I love the show. So
the only bad thing about the original Tick comic books is they're unfinished. The story doesn't end.
You know what's funny? That's also all 3 of the TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, the cartoon kind of.
Maybe that's the point. Like, maybe the whole point is like if they ever come out with a Tick movie, like they're not going to finish it. Like the credits will just roll at a time that you don't expect it to.
Anyhow, I was thinking about that the other day that we really need a Tick movie. But anyhow, all
Patrick
right.
Warburton, his big break.
So looking at the list, is there anybody on here that you're like, there's this person's a lock? They have to be in the game.
I think Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. So let me see if I can just cut and paste these. Let's see. I'll put him down here. Hey, it worked.
Confirmed, right. He is Mewtwo.
All right. So we have
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, such a fun character.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's one more that I think is 100% a lock, and the rest we can debate.
Okay.
I really Last Ronin is the most popular, like, mainstream thing that the Turtles have done in years. There's no way at this point they don't put Last Ronin in a game like this.
I kind of disagree at the moment.
But you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying. No, I totally get what you're saying. I'm kind of biased against the newer characters right now because I feel like there's so many classic characters. So let's put a pin in him and come back.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying we'll come back. So my lock character, I'm gonna say Karai has to get into the game.
I will agree with that.
Okay.
We both forgot about her, but I will agree with it.
I mean, even in the new what's the Turtle Shredder's Revenge, they made her a playable character. I mean, she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
No,
here's the thing. We forgot about a bunch of characters, and they're like, oh, then, that's an automatic disqualification. This is a character that we both forgot that's like, oh, man, we're so dumb.
Yeah. It was kind of like she's so obvious that, yeah. All right. I'm gonna go through. There's like 5 characters I think are locks. So Leatherhead would be my next one.
I would put a pin in Leatherhead
Okay.
because I think Slash over Leatherhead. Well, no. Put a pin in Slash as well. So here's what I'm running into.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2003 had their own version of Slash, right? And that was Mutant Hun.
Yeah.
So would you put Slash in the game, or would you put
I
Hun in the
think
game and
I
then
think they're
Slash?
no. I think they're separate characters. I think you have to keep those as separate characters. I think Hun getting mutated at the last minute, which is kind of a fun nod to Slash, but I don't think of Hun as Slash. I think
Okay.
those are 2 separate characters.
If that's the case, then I would put Slash before Leatherhead, and then we put a pin in Leatherhead.
I love Slash, so I have no problem putting Slash in the game. Let's put Slash down here for right now. Might move him around. Um, okay.
So who else you got? You said you had like
Yeah.
5. So
Baxter Stockman.
so
I
let's just
think I think all 3 of these are one character: the Mouser, the Fly version, and him. Like he could do a move where he releases Mousers, he could jump in a mech suit, and he could turn to a fly as his final smash.
so here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
because what you are suggesting is you are suggesting this version's Olimar, right? With the Pikmin.
Mm, I was kind of thinking of how the Koopa kids, how they set out the little Mecha Koopas and they walked around.
Sure.
That's kind of what I'm
Um,
thinking.
so the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I think if we put in Baxter Stockman with Mousers, I think that immediately disqualifies Rat King because they're the same character play like gameplay wise.
Mm, I'm thinking.
Here's the thing: you're coming at this as a Ninja Turtles fan. I'm coming at this as a fighting
No, I
fan.
get it, but there's also clone characters that have similar move sets.
Yes, there are Echo Fighters, absolutely.
Echo Fighters, I can remember what they're called. All right, so we'll put a pin in those 2 because I think those are both viable characters. How about the Fugitoid?
Um,
I don't think he's like the most exciting character to play as, but I think
he's your
as
Rob.
yeah, as far as TMNT lore goes, he would
No,
be,
I agree completely.
and he would
Uh,
have a unique move set from everybody else.
yes, I see 2 characters on here that are for sure.
Okay.
Two characters left. That's Fugitoid and Krang.
All right, we'll come back to Krang.
Do you disagree?
No, we just got to figure out what Krang is.
Oh, I have an idea for Krang. I think you're gonna. So for Krang, what I think would be cool is if he gets hit enough, then his little suit breaks down and it's destroyed, and so then he's got to like finish off like the rest of his, stock. If you're talking about Smash Bros, he got to finish the rest of it as just the little squid Utrom thing.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him flying around in his little suit. So when we say he's in a suit, are we talking about the giant baby robot thing that he was in the old cartoon?
Yeah. I see him as kind of like a grappler character, kind of like Incineroar or something like that, where like just a big boy.
Okay.
And then for Fugitoid, I mean, yeah, that's your Samus or your Rob, or
Yeah.
give him something robots do.
Yeah. Yeah. He could come apart and reform and all that. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna kind of ignore these third party characters for right now. We'll come back to them. I think Zog needs to be in the game. I think
So So tell me about Zog. What is his tenure? Let's talk about this. Was he in Mirage?
Yes.
What's his tenure?
I mean, that's what I described. He was
Well, I'm just talking about like how many story arcs was he just in, like the one story arc or?
in the one story arc. He's also in they did that in the 2003 cartoon. I think he's in the 2012 cartoon. They did in the IDW comics. He's a very popular character that's popped up several times.
Okay.
IDW comics, he's more of a general and has a bigger story arc than, and I think he fought in the Battle Nexus in the IDW comics.
Okay.
I think
I'll concede.
I think we have to have a Triceraton.
We do. And so, given the choice between the two, um,
I think he's the more popular of the
I will
two.
concede. Yes, I will concede this. Yes.
Okay. Here under the Fugitoid. Okay. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 9 spots left.
Yes, and so this is where we start arguing whether or not the mutanimals are mainstay characters or not.
Yeah. I'm a huge Mutanimal fan, but I will concede that they are not the most important turtle characters. So I do think we need more fun mutants to play as, though.
I do agree. So I would say if you have to choose between, just the from what we're looking at right now, that bottom row, if you have to choose one, who is it?
It's Leatherhead.
Then there we go. We got Leatherhead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leatherhead and Armagon are probably the two I'd go for first before I go for anybody else. I'm gonna put Leatherhead down here. Okay. How do you feel about Armagon? I think he's a fun character.
I like him. I like the pick. I'm just concerned that so here's the thing. I think Armagon and Baxter Stockman, but we got to leave Rat King off. You know what I mean? Like we can't have all three of them.
Well, I don't think Armagon has anything to do with.
So we need more. We don't have enough heroes on here. These are all villains. So we need to save some spots.
All right, I'm gonna move Baxter over
because we at least agree on Baxter. I'm just against Rat King.
I'm just gonna put Rat King as a question mark for right now.
Sure.
Come back to him. So let's do this, because ignoring the third party characters, the heroes we have left are Renee, Ninjara, Ray Fillet, Mondo, Wingnut Screwloose, and Metalhead. Out of those, which do you think would be the most fun to play as?
Ray Fillet.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. How big is Screwloose?
Tiny. He's like.
I'm almost thinking him then, kind of like Rosalina and Luma, where like Rosalina launches Luma, and like, or like Ice Climbers, you got like your double character.
Yeah. As much as I like Ninjara, I almost think
I've never heard of this character, so that should tell you something.
Well, only because they have a rights issue. Alopex was in the 2012 cartoon, and then major character in the IDW. All right, so let's say we take Ray Fillet.
So you're thinking Ray Fillet over Wingnut and Screwloose then? Let's say you have to pick one. Who are you thinking?
Well, just from my personal bias, it's Ray
That
Fillet.
that's true. That's true.
That is
So
Ray Fillet. Well, I mean,
so I've
Wingnut and
described to
Screw
you.
Loose and Ray Fillet were both in TMNT Tournament Fighters, though.
So I have described Wingnut and Screw Loose as a fighter. Give me your pitch for Ray Fillet.
Ray Fillet has a harpoon gun.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what other powers he has. um,
That I mean, like
I always pictured him
he's
as kind of the Superman of the mutant animals, but he doesn't really have Superman powers.
so. This is good. This is good. I think this is how we decide. Describe to me what he can do.
He's a giant manta ray. I don't know.
I don't know. Like if he's a giant manta ray, then I don't see how that's helpful.
He's awesome though. He has flippers. He has flippers.
Here's the thing, like water is rarely a thing in Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, you should just be proud that I haven't brought up Ue-sama yet. I'm
let's
being very fair about this.
let's see. I'm trying to see what powers he had in the game. Says he has mutant ray physiology, a stinger tail,
Okay.
sting enemies with tails. He can paralyze people.
Okay.
Massive strength, supersonic attacks. So he can
Okay.
fire a wave of supersonic energy with a sonic wave attack.
So he's like Banshee from X-Men.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of like that, or maybe a little bit of Aquaman. I'm sure he talks to fish. So
Maybe he does more than that, like Aquaman.
so let me switch. I'm not saying Ray's out of the picture, but Mondo Gecko has skateboarding.
Okay.
Sometimes his skateboard has a shotgun in it, which is fun. So and he could also turn invisible.
What's his stature? Is he like a
About the
is
size
he
of
like
Michelangelo.
Okay, so he's not a gecko-sized gecko.
No. He's a mutant. No.
So my only thing is I would imagine one of the turtles having a skateboard.
No, I can't see that. I feel like if you do skateboards, it's Mondo Gecko.
Michelangelo's main
Michelangelo has nunchucks and he has a grappling hook. That is Michelangelo.
He also has a skateboard.
And sometimes Donatello has a scooter. We're not giving Donatello a scooter in the game.
No, in Injustice 2, Michelangelo had a skateboard as a part of his moveset. As a part of his moveset, he had a skateboard.
All right, we'll come back to the mutants here in a minute. We got Renee and Savanti Romero. I think if one gets in, the other gets in.
I gotta be honest. I'm more on board with the mutanimals than those two.
All right. I mean, I just think Renee is an important part of the TMNT history. That's why I'm including her.
Maybe she is like the announcer, or
I can see like a level where they go to the time. I can't remember what it's called now.
She's like a non-playable character, but like she's a big part of the reason why this fight is happening.
Okay. All right. So let's pretend if I put Ray in here.
Okay.
Actually, Ray would go down here with the mutants.
Okay.
We have our weird third-party character here. So really, I have spots. If I'm doing this like,
I see what you're doing.
A theme. There'd be two mutants here, a third-party character here, two bad guys here, and a hero up here.
Okay. So
like if you did like Agent Bishop and Rat King, which I know you're hesitant on Rat King.
Well, I'm also hesitant on Agent Bishop because you'd have to explain to me what his, like, if he's just an FBI agent, what's the draw?
He's probably more of a robot, actually. Depending on which continuity, and sometimes he's an Utrom in a robot bodysuit. Sometimes he's just a human that has cybernetic weapon, like a Men in Black type character. He has
Okay.
like all kinds of alien gear and gadgets and guns and whatnot. In the latest IDW comic book, he's actually a um, he got deformed as a child, so he's like 2 feet tall and he's inside of a robot body that he's controlling. And he hates anything that's considered a monster. He's just totally evil.
Okay. Go back over to the pool. Because I already know who I want the hero to be. I know who and we can talk about this, but I know who I want the hero to be. I know who I want the guest character to be. I'm looking at the villains and the mutants. So here is where I'm thinking.
We've also got old Hob down here. He's basically just a cat with machine guns and shotguns and whatnot.
Are you willing to? Hmm. I'm trying to see if there's any sort of a compromise we can make. Because I am thinking perhaps because I like Wingnut. You know, I'm down to have Wingnut in there.
Okay.
So we can have Wingnut and Ray Fillet. Those are the mutants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and put those. We can agree that those are the mutants. Now, let me just go ahead and talk about my hero then.
Okay.
So, as far as my hero, I'm thinking between one of two. Uh, it's either the Last Ronin or Hamato Yoshi.
Really? Okay.
Well, who else are you thinking?
I would go either Metalhead or Mondo Gecko, or
Well, see,
maybe even Nobody.
so Mondo Gecko, that's our
Yeah.
mutant. We've got enough mutants. Metalhead, we've got 4 turtles and Slash, so we don't need a 6th one. Unless it's the Last Ronin, because of what I think would be cool about the Last Ronin, and I've explained this to you in the is I one of two things. He's either got the move set from each of the 4 turtles,
Mm-hmm.
or he's like Charade from Soul Calibur 2, where like he spawns in with a random move set every game. But as far as Metalhead, like at that point, we have not only do we have turtles, but we've also got Fugitoid.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Last Ronin or Hamato Yoshi. I of course lean more towards Last Ronin.
Now, technically, Ninjara is not a mutant. She's actually from a race of fox people. Just saying. If I want to get cutesy about if they're mutants or not.
So, but you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and then as far as Nobody goes, I don't know. Just there's having a Batman spoof. I don't know about that. Especially like your Batman spoof is next to Casey Jones, and I know this isn't like the finalized, but like your top row looks good, and it's only missing either Hamato Yoshi or the Last Ronin.
this is temporary. I don't know if this character is staying here. This is temporary. Okay. 2 spots here. If I had to guess, if I was just going, to me, it's just down to 3 characters. Rat King,
Okay.
which I've heard your arguments for or against, but You know, he also has hypnosis powers. He can hypnotize Splinter. He can make you hallucinate. He's not just releasing rats.
Okay.
I think Agent Bishop has become a major
Okay.
villain. And then my third is I'm going to throw Ho Chan in there.
You would put so you're automatically taking out Hun and well
I
basically
think
just Hun.
I think Han's boring. He's just a
Okay.
strong guy. I don't know what you do with him other than he mutated into a turtle once.
Well, so I didn't watch the 2012 thing. Didn't he like appear in that too?
Yeah, he was Bruce Lee. It was
Oh,
totally different.
oh,
Now,
I didn't
this
know.
character that was this type of character, this design, does appear in IDW comics. It's Casey Jones's father. Um,
Okay.
and so they hate each other and they fight all the time. But yeah, that's about it for him being interesting. It's Casey Jones' dad, abusive father. Um, so I'm not in love with that character.
Okay.
I think Rat King is iconic. I think Bishop is getting iconic. He's not quite there, but he's appeared enough times. Ultimate Ninja's okay, but I can't. He's kind of like Ho Chan. It's like, do we give them a spot?
Right, right. I mean, like, yeah, Ho Chan and Ultimate. Honestly, I'm almost on board with giving them both the spot. Like Bishop and Rat King out of here, just Ultimate Ninja and Ho Chan.
Oh no, I don't.
You know, just for representation of specific eras. You know.
What's interesting is the Rat King I have pictured here is
Mm-hmm.
from the 2003 series. He's a clone of Bishop that went mad. So I actually have Agent Bishop on here twice, actually. Um, let's do this. Rat King, I think you kind of have to have. He's just been in every era. He's just one of
Okay.
those characters. So I'm going to say Rat King.
And I know what else you're about to say, but go ahead.
Pick between these two.
So I got to go with Ultimate Ninja then. Because so here's the thing: Ultimate Ninja is not a parody of something. Like,
Well, if we're not doing parodies, then we have to get rid of the Ninja Turtles.
well, no, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I'm
I
talking about like
know.
an
It's an
egregious,
actual
yeah,
character.
like an egregious, like very much so an egregious uh parody. Like there's no mistake as who Ho Chan is a parody of. Like, if I were to explain to you that the Ninja Turtles are a parody of Daredevil, I still have to explain it to you. So,
This is kind of what I want to do. I kind of do that,
now
and
I
I
see.
kind of want to do this. Now, I did give you Ultimate Ninja.
But you didn't see where I was going because I had someone I I don't know about this because I don't know who this character is, and this character that like the replacement was also not a big deal in 2003.
Hold on a second.
So, because my guest character was going to be Tommy.
Yeah, I figured it was. Let me show you when they brought when they added Alopex to the 2012 cartoon. This is what she looked like. So I mean, clearly it's Ninjara.
No,
They just
that's Naruto.
kinda, yeah.
There's a
Um,
hundred. All she needs is nine tails.
yeah. Um,
That's straight up
I
Naruto.
could see that, yeah. And then this is what she looks like in the the IDW comic books, and this is like a major character in the IDW comic books. Um, so to me, they're all the same character. I know they look a little bit different, but it's basically the same thing. So in my head, the turtles is the turtles, and then a fox girl is the fifth part of the team. So in my head, there should always be that fox girl with them.
So here's what I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Because guest characters did not become a thing until Brawl, and this is our melee. So what I will do is I will give and the design that I'm looking for this character, this Fox girl, I like that IDW one the best.
Okay.
So in my head, we don't have to change it because that takes a long time. But in my head, that's what I'm thinking. What we have right here. This I'm satisfied with it.
I even like
the layout.
I would play the heck out of this game. This game looks awesome. For those who have forgotten, when the TMNT, I think it was a CGI movie, was coming out, they announced a Smash game. And I had a blog at the time. I got so excited. I was listing all the characters it could be, blah, 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 blah. And I think we probably got the four turtles.
I'm just gonna look up the.
I think it was Splinter and April and Casey and an Utrom.
So we have April O'Neil, Casey Jones, Donatello, Foot Ninja, Fugitoid, Karai, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Night Watcher, which is
Raphael.
Then we have Raphael, Shredder, Splinter, Ultraminator. Never heard of that.
It's an Utrom in like a mech suit.
And then we have a Raving Rabbit.
Oh God.
A Ninja Raving Rabbit. And a Splinter Raving Rabbit.
So disappointing. I was so hyped for that game, and then when they started announcing these Raving Rabbits, I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, here's the thing: it's not just the Raving Rabbits; it's also that this is a Smash Brothers game that's with 16 characters that came out in the year 2009.
Yeah,
this is 4 more characters than the original Smash Brothers in '98.
I say that everybody should take a screenshot of what's on the screen right now and share it to Nickelodeon like crazy. Let's get this game made. I mean, they have the only one that's a little questionable, Ninjara and Usagi Yojimbo. The rest of these characters they own outright. Let's get this made. I would play the heck out of this, and it's not that big of a gamble. WB has made a game like this. Nickelodeon has a game like this. Yeah.
Nintendo has Nintendo has a game like this too.
Yeah. Sony tried one at one time and screwed theirs up.
I played the heck out of that one. I like that one more than most people, but that's also because I will play any game that lets me play as Dante from Devil May Cry. I don't care if it's the weird reboot version of Dante. I still played it.
I'm just staring at this roster. This is a great roster.
I know.
This would be such a solid game.
Explain. Okay. Anyone stick out like. We talked about Baxter Stockman having like a Superfly Final Smash.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone else stick out to you like a cool Final Smash?
Krang, his robot bike could go, Godzilla size, giant size, and just smash everything. That's a pretty obvious one. Shredder turning into Super Shredder, that makes sense. I'm just going down the list here.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? You know how there's like always like the master hand or the master core or the master fortress, you know, like the
Yeah.
non-playable boss character. I'm thinking like you just beat the crap out of the Technodrome. Like it's just a giant Technodrome on
It's just
Final
the
Destination.
eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun stage though. It just back there just shooting people randomly.
Yeah, give me like a pitch to me a stage. Like I'm sure, you know, New York nightlife. Like that's a stage. Like
So
give me a
you got the sewers, you got Dimension X.
weird Battle Nexus stage.
It's been so long since I've seen the Battle Nexus. I think that if you look at the Shredder's Revenge game, the DLC, they've got some really cool levels. A lot of references to the old Archie comic book. Then Jara even appears in the background. um, you could have a Mirage black and white level.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You could have Kirby's level where he's drawing, like he's constantly drawing the background while you're fighting.
It's like your what was that?
The flip note or whatever it was.
The me Picto Chat.
Yeah, yeah. You could have a stage where Armagon keeps taking you to different time periods. It's like the future, everything's destroyed and stuff. Man, I want to play this game. Usagi Yojimbo's world you could travel to. Yeah,
I would want Usagi Yojimbo to be like Marth or Roy or Lucina, just very much a like they don't do anything flashy, but just pick your spots and footsie him out with the sword. I don't want Usagi Yojimbo to do anything fancy. I just want like a cool finesse sword fighter.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a picture right now. Hold on, let's see. We were talking about Final Smashes. Ultimate Ninja, you could turn him into Draco.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That here's a picture from Shredder's Revenge. There's Ninjara in the background.
Okay,
it's an important character. So yeah, I really need to get this DLC. It's really cool.
I still haven't played the game. You know what's funny? This is free on Xbox Game Pass, and I still haven't played it.
What? It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. It felt like the initial game had a lot of references to the '87 cartoon, and then the DLC has a lot of references to the Archie comics, which is pretty cool. So, all right. So I guess the big question is for our audience is who did we miss? I know that we meant to include Warrior Dragon. I thought about including Ace Duck. In the comic books, there's a whole thing where he's a wrestler. So I think that would have been a fun character. Let's see, we got Scumbug and Ground Chuck has been in a lot of the games. We didn't include him or
Raving Rabbids.
Raving Rabbids. Dirtbag the Mole, Toka and Razor, Tatsu, Kino, Danny from the first movie.
Sam Rockwell from the first movie.
Yeah, that should have been our. If you had told me that our foot soldier was Sam Rockwell, he might have been in there.
What you saying? This over here and that right over there, family.
That should be the cut scene. Just randomly between it just plays that. It doesn't matter what's happening in the game, but just that cut scene.
Yeah. What's the pizza delivery boy's name in the second movie?
Kino,
that's right.
Yeah. Don't ask me who the characters are in part 3. I could not tell you. I can't tell you the villain or anybody. I don't remember.
I just remember that they switched spots.
And Casey came back.
And Casey's job of the whole movie is to babysit 3 samurai warriors. Yeah. If that movie did one thing good, That's hilarious.
Well,
Maybe not. A good is probably not the right word, but I mean, I at least think it's funny.
yeah. So leave us a comment of which character we missed, and then leave us a comment of what other series you'd like to see us do a choose your fighter on. Um, we really like doing these. We don't want to do it every month, but this is a fun topic we like to do.
I'm
All
trying to
right,
think of
so
like what else is there like
I mean, do Star Wars, Star Trek. There's all kinds of stuff.
Star
Um,
Trek.
a Star Trek Smash Brothers game that would be wild. Just be
I
all
can't even.
Klingons. It'd be Captain
I
Kirk and just a room full of Klingons. Them all
I
fighting.
can't even think like because the hardest part about making a fighting game is differentiating your characters. Um,
Well, I mean, Spock would have the neck bench. Just that'd be his only move.
right, yeah, that's the thing. Like Star Wars, I can see because like you got like your bounty hunters, you got your droids, and you get your like when it comes to the majority of Starfleet. I mean, that's all about personality at that
I
point.
mean, Jordy has his visors. He could do some fun things with his visor. I'm not saying Cyclops, but different.
I would
Well,
make it more make next generation more fun.
I mean, Star Trek has had crossovers with X Men before, so you could do like a Star Trek X Men mash them together type game.
How insane is it that like we're close that we pitched this, we would be closer to X-Men appearing in a Star Trek fighting game than Marvel versus Capcom.
I kind of want this X Men Star Trek game now. The more I'm thinking about it.
No, no. And you know what? Just put Doctor Who in it. There was that IDW crossover.
Oh man.
Put the Power Rangers. Put the turtle. Make an IDW fighting game. Just do it. What
All
what,
right.
what else does IDW do? Do they do Transformers?
Well, they did. They lost the license Transformers G.I. Joe. They had
Oh,
Mars Attacks.
is that Marvel now?
Kirkman has Transformers. I'm not sure who has G.I.
Really?
Joe. Yeah, he just started. It's kind of interesting.
Like what company is he under? Is it his
That's a
own
great
company?
question. I think it's his own company. Yeah.
That is insane.
I mean, it might be like part of Image. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Just imagine the next the next Transformers adaptation, Optimus Prime, played by Andrew Lincoln, and then Carl Bumblebee.
It's just Megatron bashing England's head with a baseball bat.
And then Starscream is played by John Bernthal.
Starscream would be what's his name? Yondu, what's his name?
Oh, Michael Rooker.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, who's the? Wasn't there a Prime that betrayed Optimus Prime?
Sometimes Ultra Magnus, the Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, there's John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Or just put the Punisher in the game.
Transformers is Skybound Comics, which is part of Image. This is releasing it now.
Okay.
So, next week we are going to be discussing cartoon shows that were super popular at one time and then have just kind of vanished.
Oh, we didn't say super popular. You just said, cartoons that time forgot. A lot of mine that I've been thinking about, I don't even think were popular. Yeah,
well, I don't think. Fine.
Yeah, I don't think they were popular at the time. Whenever I was watching them, I didn't watch popular cartoons though. I watched the weird stuff on Jetix and Nicktoons.
Well, we'll mention one that we were talking about earlier. The Tick will definitely be discussed next week. Yeah. That was a kind of a really popular cartoon show, and then just kind of they've tried to bring it back a couple times as live action, but it just hasn't worked out. So,
to give you perspective of like the stuff I'm thinking of, I used to watch Speed Racer: The Next Generation on Nicktoons every week.
Yeah, that's we can talk about that.
That was not a popular show.
No, but yeah, we'll come up with a list, and that will be next week's show. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I believe did we decide on our 11 Switch 2 launch titles? Did we decide to do that one? I'm just thinking about the rest of the month.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna do that or not. We could decide all this off air because it'll just be us rambling. So
yeah, I definitely want to talk Nocturne by the end of the month.
Okay, maybe I'll try to finish Castlevania before then. Get caught up. So, all right. Until then, I've been Final Monkey,
and I'm Caleb,
and we'll catch you later in the Shark Pond.
See ya.